So welcome to another video. I was just about to go and measure for some carpets at a flat and I realised I haven't got the key. So I'm now going to have to sit in a lot of traffic on the way home, which is going to be pretty boring, so I thought I would make a quick video just pointing out some of my thoughts about this vehicle. We won't call it a car, will we? This quadricycle. So far I've had it a couple of weeks now, and I've done 284 miles, which seems to be a fair old bit of mileage in 2 weeks. So good points and bad points. Good point is it costs virtually nothing to run. Electricity here is 22 pence a unit, or around about 10 pence a unit on cheap rate. I charge it pretty much mostly on cheap rate. Charge it every couple of days overnight, and it gives me 46 miles. I'm now down to 31 miles. I've done a bit of running around at lunchtime, so it's just so cheap to run. There's no comparison between this and even a very economical petrol car or diesel car, certainly. So that's all good. And that's part of the reason I bought it. I can run around in it without even thinking about the cost of running it. It's February, it's not warm. I don't know what the temperature is outside. It's not freezing cold, but it's not warm, and it can get pretty cold in here. You're used to sort of getting into a car, going down the road, putting the heater on and feeling a bit warm. That obviously doesn't happen, and what else doesn't happen is that the windscreen doesn't clear. Now, don't get me wrong, there is a demister, which if I put it on, it's pretty loud. Let's turn that off, don't need that. If there's two of you in the car, certainly in February, you need the demister on every now and then. If there's two of you and a dog that's just been for a walk, you'll be lucky to see. So yeah, it's got, you have to think about these things. But then everything adds weight, and so I'm pleased that it's economical and light, and even if I haven't got air conditioning. Other things I've noticed about it: my window on the right hand side opens, but then is quite difficult to close and needs a hefty shove from the outside. It's not quite lined up correctly, and I'm not sure that I can line it up. I've tried to undo the window catch, but it seems to be glued as well. So I think that's just because it's a cheap car built to a price, and not everything is exactly lined up and correct. Hey, I'll work on it. I'll sort it out. Driver's window opens fine, not a problem at all. What else have I noticed? I mean, I'm 6'3", and I'm quite comfortable in here. It's a hard seat, and of course it adjusts backwards and forwards. I've got it all the way back, which is only just a little bit in front of the passenger seat. But I'm comfortable enough. I wouldn't go a long distance like this, but then I can only go 46 miles anyway, so that's fine. And we never do a long distance in Guernsey. It's okay. There's no lateral support on the seat, and actually the base of the seat is so narrow that you sort of feel yourself slipping off it a little bit. I was going to say at high speed cornering, but of course you don't do much of that. But yeah, so you tend to lean against the side or something. There's no support, lateral support. But again, that's not something that you particularly need, I wouldn't have said. There is, in traffic, when you stop and you start again, there's a little bit of play on the drive belt, and you can feel that as you come to stop and then put your foot back on the accelerator. There's a little bit of bit of take up on the drive belt. Can't see there's a problem with that really. It just means that moving along very slowly in traffic, you do notice that, but it's not a problem at all. I've put a rear view mirror, which I have, not wanting to block out any of the windscreen because it's not that big. I put the rear view mirror, stuck it to the sunroof it's got a sucker on it. It doesn't block out anything because it's effectively blocking the portion of metalwork that is in between the sunroof and the front window, the windscreen. Having said that, because it's at such a high level, I can only see the road behind me for about 15 foot. It's pointing downhill basically, so there's not really an answer to that. I don't think. I could put it lower, but then that would block out part of my windscreen. I don't want to do that, so I'm just thinking, oh well, I'll use that for potentially for a little bit of reversing. I could use that. I use my side mirrors otherwise, and I can see who's behind. That's not a problem. Although, of course, when your side window gets rain on it, and when your mirrors get rain on them as well, you can't see much. So it's a little bit of guesswork. So yeah, the passenger door needs a good old slam. In fact, they both need a good slam to close. The passenger door more so, and quite often I've had passengers, yes, they have wanted to get into, well, they have got into this car. I've not much choice sometimes really if they wanted to get a lift somewhere. But they've jumped in and assumed that it's like a normal car where you just give the door a little bit of a firm clunk and it's closed. No, this needs a good old slam. Potentially I could adjust the catch, but I'm not going to bother. Obviously the driver's door isn't quite as bad, and there's no way that you will, as in a normal car, if you think your door's not closed properly, you give it a bit of a, you open it and close it again. You wouldn't do it on this because it's a suicide door on the driver's side, so it's just going to take your door off if you're driving along. So I've had to think about that a couple of times when I've known it's not been closed properly. Also, with regard to the driver's door, where the key goes into the lock, the bodywork is scooped out, and it's an excellent place for the air to be funneled through some gaps around the door lock itself on the door, and into the cavity inside the door, where it then comes out at knee level. And I can put my hand there now, it really is quite blowy, and giving you a cold breeze on your leg. Doesn't do it on the passenger side because obviously the door is the other way around. But this acts like a scoop to pick up fresh air, which would be great in the summer, but not quite so great in February. Let's just watch what this car's doing in front. Right, that's fine. So yeah, I'm still waiting for my kit, which is the orange pack. Very excited about getting the orange pack. Haven't seen it yet. Hopefully it's been dispatched from Citroën. They have said that they were going to dispatch it last week. That gives me my orange wheel hubs, wheel trims, which are black and orange they are, which will really brighten it up because at the moment it's on just black steel wheels. It also gives me some Go Faster stripes, which is badly in need of, obviously. It does give me some useful nets for the doors, which are also bright orange. It gives me a hook on the dashboard, which I can hang my handbag from, so I haven't got one of those. And it also gives me storage boxes on the front, which are orange, and a dividing net inside the compartment by my feet to sort of divide the passenger bit where you put your suitcase and whatever, or your shopping bags, from the pedals and so on, which is always good. Plus it gives me a Miami setup, which is something plugs into the OBD port, and then you've got an app on your phone which does all the sound stuff and whatever. So I'm looking forward to getting that and setting it all up. It also gives me the cradle to hold my phone, because at the moment there's nothing there to hold my phone. But that's fine, that's all okay. Right, I'm just turning right into here and I'll soon be home. The camera mount is a bit shaky over these very, very bumpy bits going up our lane. All the indicators don't cancel as well. I'm getting used to that now. Having had a 2CV many years ago without cancelling indicators, I'm sort of getting used to it really. Top speed 28, I can report 28 top speed, 32 on one occasion going downhill. And I have previously said in another video that the regen braking doesn't work when the battery is freshly charged. There's a reason behind that, and that's the situation. It doesn't work. because Citroen don't want to charge up the battery too much, and seemingly haven't got the technology to create some sort of bypass thing. Not sure how all that works out. But yeah, I've managed to get it into a little space next to my other car, which is great. And my other car I'm now going to go out in, because I'm going to pick some people up. And you can't pick up 2 people in one of these. Thanks for listening and watching. See you soon.